All right, and welcome back to the First Team Fantasy Podcast. And we are back with the final episode of the week. We have all of the afternoon game previews as well as the Sunday night preview. No Monday night this week. Um, so we're going to start it off. We have the Steelers heading into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. I mean, this one could be pretty interesting. We saw Mason Rudolph take over at the quarterback position and actually do fairly well last week.
Yeah.
A lot of that had to do with George Pickens and his incredible game. Will he be able to replicate that this week? I don't know. I mean, Seahawks are giving up 229 pass yards per game, which is 19th. Not necessarily the best. I think Pickens should do well. I think him and Deontay have a chance to have a decent game. The Seahawks on the ground are even less formidable, giving up 129.6 yards. So I mean, Najee had a decent week last week. I think he should have another decent week this week. I think him and Jalen Warren are both decent flex options.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't see them doing what they did last week by any means. The Seahawks, while the Bengals had just as much to play for, the Seahawks will be at home and they are they're fighting for their playoff lives just as well as the Steelers are. I I don't see it going that well for this offense. Maybe
Yeah.
one or two people get it done, but I mean, in the way of the run game, I think there will be enough volume, and the Seahawks are weak enough against the run that either one of these running backs can have a decent enough day.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know how much this offense is going to score. We will see. It'll be interesting. As far as the Seahawks, I mean, Steelers aren't necessarily great on the defensive side of the ball either, except they only give up 19.4 points per game. Um, Starting Ken Walker, starting DK, I think Tyler Lockett's good. I think JSN could be a good start.
Yeah.
Gino, I mean, could be all right,
Hmm.
but he could very well have a sub 20 game. Would
Yeah.
be pretty painful in the type of setting that we're in. Not necessarily jumping to start either one of these defenses. And yeah, as far as the kickers, I mean, I don't hate them, but
Yeah.
this very well just could be a low scoring game. I don't know for sure. These teams have been strange down the stretch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's really all for this one. I mean, I think, like I said, we've said the guys that have gotten you here, like Najee did well for you last week. I think he's in a good position to do well this week. Pickens did absolutely incredible. If you played him last week, I see no reason to take him out this.
Yeah.
Deontay had a bad week last week. Maybe he turns it around. I in the Yahoo Championship that I'm in, I pivoted away from Deontay.
I
Just me
agree.
personally.
I agree with that. It's just a dangerous play.
It is, and I mean, Pickens just lit it up. I don't think they're gonna necessarily go right away from that.
Yeah. Did you
But
see
yeah,
uh did you see that Kenny Pickett might be active for this game? He's been
oh,
limited
interesting.
all week, but Mike Tomlin on Friday said Kenny Pickett may be active. Mason Rudolph's our starter.
I mean,
He might have gotten bet. Dude.
again, we'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah, I just thought that was
Go ahead and
hilarious. Yeah.
take us into our next game.
Which is the Bengals at the Chiefs. The Chiefs just lost to a superior team this past week in the Las Vegas Raiders. They will look to bounce back this week. Had to throw that jab in there. The Chiefs are second against the pass, giving
I
up
got no look for that team.
giving up 174 yards a game. Now that last week does help them. I believe they only gave up like 68 passing yards, so that does help their average. But they are very good against the pass.
Yeah.
They're very stout against the pass. So their run defense is a bit more middle of the pack. They are 18th, giving up 113 and a half yards. But the Bengals don't run it very well. They're the worst in the league, actually, in rush yards a game.
Yep.
And the Bucks are terrible at running the ball efficiently, and they're still better than the Bengals. It's been a wacky season for the Bengals offense as a whole. Jake Browning does air it out fairly well. Joe Mixon, he only scares me a little bit because, like we mentioned, they don't run it that efficiently. And at least as of recent, it seems like Chase Brown has gotten a little bit more involved than I would like. But I feel like, again, if you've been rolling Mixon, he's had 3 monster weeks outside of this past week where he still got 9, which isn't absolutely terrible. If you've been rolling Mixon, I'd say to keep him in there, but it is a bit of a risky play. I'm sure the Chiefs will be coming out to dominate this game, but we'll see how it goes. Jamar Chase is questionable with that shoulder. He was limited Thursday and Friday. I just double-checked to see if there was a new update today about Jamar Chase. There is not just yet, so that's something to heavily monitor. But if he does go, that's a guy that he has to be in your lineup. If they say he's healthy and ready to go, he has to be in the lineup. T. Higgins, without Jamar Chase these past couple weeks, has been on an absolute tear. If Jamar does miss, T. Higgins is an absolute must start. Even with Jamar there, if Jamar plays, who do you feel more comfortable with, Jamar or T? Is it immediately Jamar again?
I mean, I don't know.
It's tough, and I mean, I'm curious to see how much success the Bengals have as a whole on offense. Like, Jake Browning's been throwing the ball very well, but this is a really good Chiefs pass defense. So I don't know how much there's going to be to go around. So it's kind of a proceed with caution either way. But Jamar's not like a D-Hop or, a Terry McLaurin, someone you drafted around there. This is your first round pick. So it's hard to say to keep him on the bench. But if you do, if you are deep at the receiver position and you have a guy like a Nico Collins or someone that you drafted super late that we know is going to get crazy volume, we like the matchup, things like that. It's crazy to say, but if you got to this point without Jamar in the lineup and you feel comfortable with what you've got, it is at least somewhat of a risk to put Jamar in there, which is crazy to say. But outside of those two, I'm not looking at Tyler Boyd, Trenton Irwin, any of those guys, Tanner Hudson. It just doesn't get the volume. I honestly don't really love Evan McPherson. I just think there's other matchups where your kicker will have more scoring opportunity, and there's probably only 4 teams at most picking from the waiver wire this week. So you should have a lot more options there. The Chiefs side of the ball, Mahomes, I like the start this week. This is the perfect week for him to have a good week. The Bengals are close to the bottom against the pass, giving up 256 yards. Also close to the bottom against the run, giving up 127. We mentioned in the injury report that Isaiah Pacheco was questionable. We talked about the hypotheticals if he was missing, but they did put out that he cleared concussion protocol and he is scheduled to play. So Isaiah Pacheco is an obvious start, as is Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, and Harrison Butker for that matter. The Chiefs' defense could be a solid play, but again, if Jamar does play, the Bengals do have a lot of weapons. So that's one with a little bit of caution as well. But that's really it for this one. I'm kind of excited to see how this one plays out. Let's see if the Chiefs are still a top contender in the AFC or if they're actually just heavily sputtering at the worst possible time.
Yeah, hopefully it's the latter.
I agree.
Weird to see. Well, now the final afternoon game: Easton Stick versus Jarrett Stidham. No Keenan Allen, no Josh Palmer. I mean, I don't know. Fire up Eckler. Fire up Gerald Everett. Cameron Dicker. On the other side of the ball, maybe. Oh, yeah. We don't have Cortland Sutton either.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe fire up Javonte Williams. It's
That's
not,
it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Jerry Judy's not even, he's questionable. And for the love of God, do I want Jerry Judy with Jarrett Stidham throwing him the ball for my championship? No. I mean, I think just Javonte, and that's it. Not looking forward to this game at all.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. But we are almost there. Another divisional matchup is the
There's gonna be
Packers.
some random, someone's gonna go off like Brandon Johnson or Lil Jordan.
Absolutely. Marvin Mims going to go for like 152 TDs on 2 deep balls. Who knows? Legitimately, yeah, I completely agree. But our final game of the week is the Monday night game, another divisional matchup, the Packers at the Vikings. The Vikings defense is fairly solid. Middle of the pack against the pass, 17th in the league to be exact, 225.5 yards allowed a game, and 9th against the run, giving up 95.4. As we mentioned in the injury report, the Packers will be missing Christian Watson, and Dontavion Wicks is also questionable with that chest and ankle. And Matt LaFleur said he has been very limited action all week. Not just limited, very limited action. So, the Jordan Love start, I don't necessarily love in. That's a good little play on words. But I do not love the Love start this week because it is a division matchup. It could be very grimy. I just don't know if it's going to be a high scoring game. We're just going to have to see. I just feel like there could be better options out there. Aaron Jones has kind of reemerged as of recent. Again, if you played him last week and he got you here, I feel like you have to keep him in. But it is a solid run defense that Aaron Jones got 8.6 against earlier in the year. Yeah, Aaron Jones is a very much proceed with caution, but if you don't have a better option, it is what it is. Jaden Reed should be an absolute start in this one. He has gone double digits in 5 of the past 6 games he's played in. He's clearly the number one threat there. They find ways to get him the ball. Romeo Dobbs, I don't fully trust. Even when they're shorthanded, we see games like against Tampa where he gets targeted 3 times, catches all 3 for 30 yards. He's just a little too hit and miss for me to throw in at that flex. I think there's safer options out there. But again, if you believe in Romeo Dobbs, if you're a Packers fan, you got high hopes. And this Vikings team is a bit. I mean, I'll let Schiff cover it, but those are the only guys like Tucker Croft. I like what he's done, but again, in a championship matchup, I'm not throwing him out there. But that is it for the Packers. I do have a little more hope for their offense due to who Schiff will name is the quarterback for the Vikings this week. But
Oh,
we'll
Darren
see.
Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ty Chandler's a good start. TJ Hawkinson tore his ACL and MCL, so he's done for the season.
It's terrible.
Yeah, he will not be playing in this one, obviously. Uh, I mean, you start Jettas because if you just put the ball near him, he can catch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you start Jettas and Ty Chandler, and then I
The
mean
Packers
Madison's
are
not even
missing.
100%.
Sorry, the Packers are also missing their top two corners, Tony Stokes and
Mm,
obviously.
right.
What an idiot! Dude. He went
I
out
know.
there. Why did he go?
He's one of the like top 10 funny. He might be top 3 funniest players in the league.
No.
Of full hilarious. He might be the funniest if we're being honest. I don't. Wow.
He made him
Guy
kick it off
Alexander.
twice.
He
Like,
almost did. He almost did. Um, mm, yeah. So Jetta should be a good start, and then yeah, I mean, this is the first time we're gonna see Jaron Hall exactly enthralled with, even if Jordan Addison plays.
yeah,
Yep, that's about it.
yeah. Another week of previews.
A lot of really bad matchups.
Can't stop thinking about Jair. He's so stupid, dude. He was out there with the captains.
He just did whatever he wanted to do that day. But yeah, so that'll be it for this week's episodes. If this is your championship week, I wish you luck. Like we said, if you already played in the championship last week or whatever you did end up playing in, whatever you're playing in this week, let us know. We're always interested to hear. Let us
Mm-hmm.
know how you did or, some start sits you have for this upcoming matchup.
Yeah.
And like I said, once again, good luck. Hopefully all went well. We will not see you before then, so happy new year to all of you guys. And we wish you the best. Thank you for all the support once again.
Come back next time. Take more ups with the first team.